The food security bill is not the only socio-economic project which is mired in issues. The other equally ambitious one is the Aadhar or the UID project. Now, headed by Nandan Nilekani, the UID project is actually making some progress, at least in terms of the number of enrollments which are keeping pace with what was intended. But the issue is one of course correction. There are questions as to whether the targeted segment, the rural areas in particular, are getting the kind of attention that they should, and whether there are some issues such as linkages with post offices that need to be addressed immediately in order for the UID project to make a real difference. Of course, there are political issues as well, with the Parliamentary Standing Committee continuing to be concerned about the UID project. Onitom Oja Sinha takes stock.
आपकी बकाया राशि है रुपए 1,400।
आपने आधार नंबर के बारे में सुना है?
हाँ जी सुना है।
आपने आधार नंबर लिया है?
लिया है।
और आपको ये पता है कि उससे सुविधा क्या-क्या मिलेंगे?
अभी नहीं पता।
Aadhar card is very important because in one card you have so many things like identity, your address, your age, and whatever information is required. You need not to carry other cards also.
Aadhar, India's attempt to ensure that every Indian in any part of the country has a unique identity and a unique identification card, one which can be used to access government welfare schemes, particularly by the poor. But in the near 3 years since the scheme was launched under Nandan Nilekani, it's faced its share of controversies, and questions remain on whether the scheme is achieving its intended objective. Since 2009-10, close to 1,832 crore rupees have been spent on the UID project, with over 20 crore people being enrolled for UID cards. But 30% of these enrollments have been done in the urban areas, and another 70% enrollments have been completed in rural areas where the need for identification is far more acute.
The real challenge is to enroll those for whom this Aadhar number is so important. And that needs a very special effort, a very intensive effort, where there are large partnerships called for between the state governments and the UID authority and other stakeholders, so that the people who are otherwise likely to get left out and for whom this program is of the greatest significance do get included. And the difficulty we are having is that we do not still have any single block of this country where we can say that we have saturated the entire population of potential beneficiaries with the Aadhar number.
And so at a meeting this week, it was decided to focus the enrollments towards 40 rural districts and achieve complete enrollment in these areas before moving on to try and cover the entire 627 districts across the nation. The project team is also attempting to solve another major concern that has emerged, the lack of a linkage with post offices. With penetration of bank branches still low in India, many still hold their savings in post office accounts. At the same time, other options like business correspondence must be used to expand the spread of Aadhar cards.
What is essential for Aadhar to succeed is the business correspondent model, where banks employ business correspondents so that you have banking at the doorstep. And once that happens, and only I think if that happens, the power of Aadhar will become clear to the people of this country.
Other concerns have cropped up over time as well, among them the issue of duplication and data security. The Home Ministry under P. Chidambaram raised these concerns last year when it listed out its reservations to the 15,000 crore rupee allocation being sought by the UIDAI. They also faulted the UIDAI's approach to incentivize registrars by paying them 50 rupees per enrollment in addition to their fee, saying this could compromise the process of validation by artificially encouraging registrars to maximize registrations. Along with criticism from experts and the Home Ministry, the UIDAI also came under attack from the National Advisory Council, headed by Sonia Gandhi, on issues of privacy and profiling. UIDAI Chairman Nandan Nilekani refused to come on camera and comment on all these issues, leaving the job to the project's Director General to counter criticism and face media.
The basic objective was A, to provide identities to those who did not have any formal set of documents to prove their existence. This is one part, so that they are able to access government services. The other was to remove duplicates and fakes from various sort of databases or beneficiary databases. And that obviously, as you know, duplicates and fakes result in a lot of leakages at the ground level. So essentially to plug those leakages. Lastly, the objective is also to facilitate delivery of services using this number and the authentication services that we have rolled out, whereby using biometric authentication, you can actually get various services. So this is the broad objective of this mission, and we are progressing towards that.
While some of these issues are genuine roadblocks which are being resolved step by step, other and perhaps more political concerns have also continued to surround the project. For one, the National Identification Authority of India Bill 2010, the piece of legislation that would give legal backing to the authority and the Aadhar number, has been rejected by the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance under Yashwant Sinha. The panel has also questioned the Union Cabinet's decision to allocate funds without a legislation in place, and raised objections over the project's budget being raised by nearly 50% to 1,758 crore rupees for 2012-13 from 1,200 crore rupees in 2011-12. Meanwhile, there has been suggestions that the Aadhar number should be restricted only to Indian citizens instead of covering every single Indian resident.
I think the committee and the government should review whether it should cover only citizens, and it should be dovetailed with the various other schemes being run by the Ministry of Home Affairs in the National Population Register, or by the Ministry of Information Technology, where they have the Bharatiya registrations going on. I think all of these need to be dovetailed into one scheme applicable to citizens of India only.
And so the bill hangs in balance, as does some part of the funding that was proposed in the budget this year. As for now, UIDAI is on track to achieve the enrollment targets, but many in the corridors of power feel that some adjustments to the project will be necessary for UIDAI to actually make a difference. With camera persons Atik in Mumbai, Tariq in Srinagar and Saji in New Delhi, Oinito Moja Sinha, NDTV Profit.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.